Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and welcome to live Q&A here on the Dice Hour. And this is the wrong microphone.
Alrighty, well that sounds better. Anyway, welcome to live Q&A. So, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them here. That's just what this is. Thank you to the guys who covered for me last week. I believe Roy and Z did it last week. And we'll try to do more folks from the Dice Tower more often. It won't just be me every week. And that would have probably been a wise idea to have done today. I've been on camera all morning, but that's okay. We got lots of stuff to talk about. So if you've asked a question before we started this video, I don't normally scroll back and do those questions. I go right from when we're starting. So right now, someone just said, "Hi Tom, watch your Skull Hollow review and now looking for your playthrough with Roy. Where can I find it?" I actually answered I know that you asked that same comment on the video and I answered it there. And the answer is, I don't know. It's possible that we didn't play it live, and I know we played it, and I imagined that we had played it live. It's possible it was a part of a bigger video, like one of our 24-hour marathons, and you'd have to hunt through those. So I apologize. I couldn't find it myself either. Sorry. Have you updated your TV yet? Yes. We didn't want to pause. We didn't want to re-record the whole thing. That just happened. It's really annoying. Someone needs to figure out a way to have these electronic devices update or have it without it being annoying and happening in the middle. Like I'll turn on my computer and I'll be like, "You need to update now." I'm like, I wasn't planning on doing it today. What church am I a part of? I go to First Baptist Church of Cutler Ridge. How proud of your daughters. They were amazing in the playthrough and really did a good job of keeping you humble. Oh, well, I try to make the playthrough exactly how our actual playthroughs go, and that's how we play together all the time. We have a good time. The kids and I, we like it to make fun of each other and do that sort of thing. It's entertaining. Nope, I never did play Shadows of Brimstone. Had to put the miniatures together, and I just never had the time to do it. Thomas, Dice Hour discontinued component drops. Yes, we have. For now, at least. Would you consider doing a top 10 games to play with everything, promos and expansions? That's interesting. A game I would play everything at the same time with it. Obviously, you would pick a game that has enough for that to be considered a thing. Like, well, this game has one expansion, so I play it with everything. That's not a terrible idea, but man, I can't think of many games where I play with everything. Like, we're throwing everything in. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. Any thoughts on the rumors regarding a reprinted, rethemed Battlestar Galactica? I think that information's coming really soon, so I'm not going to make any comments on it yet. I want to wait to see what the actual information is before I get all hyper about it, either one way or the other. It doesn't matter. Let's find out what the facts are first. I love comic books when I was younger. I would like to start reading them again, but man, oh man, where to start? That's the problem. I agree. Marvel does a pretty good job at doing something point one. So if you look like through Spider-Man, for example, you'll see something point one. That's a good place to start. If you're not sure, you could always start at a series called Avengers Disassembled, which you won't know all the Avengers that are in it, but it's a good place. That's kind of Avengers Disassembled leads. If you read that whole series and then read House of M and then read Civil War, that's kind of, House of M might be a little confusing in there. I don't think it's too bad, but if you just go through a series, like I said, start at issue 1 of a series and just pick one and go through it. Joss Whedon's run on the X-Men was a pretty good starting point if you just want to read about the X-Men. You just need to go into that knowing that right before that series start, Jean Grey had died. That's not spoilerish by any means, but knowing that explains what happens in the rest of that. Since you like my management comic, would you ever invite the writer Matt Kint on the Dice Tower? I don't know that Matt would know what the Dice Tower is. I don't know that I've ever got an email from him. Let me look. I can look right that up right now. Nope. I'm searching my emails and it just comes up in press releases about mind management. Huh. Alrighty. What are your thoughts on Titans? How did the game go? I have not played Titans yet. I taught the game, set it up, ran it. I have some pretty strong opinions on my thoughts on how I'm pretty sure the game works. But I want to play at least a two-player game of it because I want to see if it's different with two players. What's your thoughts on Kickstarter previews versus reviews when the game releases? The previews typically seem overwhelmingly positive. Well, they're paid previews, so they're paid to be, in a sense, an advertisement for the game, to show how the game plays. So, of course, they're going to be positive in that regard. You just need to go in there and hopefully by seeing how the game plays, you can determine whether you like it or not. Reviews are not paid for, and they're just going to be, is the game good or not? So I don't do paid previews at all. We do the paid playthroughs, but I don't do the previews. And when I do a review of a game, I'm just going to tell you what I think of it straight off the thing. So that's the difference between them. Do you think Mystery of the Abbey should get reprinted, or are there better games of the same type today? I think there are better games in many regards, but it's a pretty solid one. I like it a lot. My group is looking forward to the Dice Tower retreat in November. For people that are out of state, are there places in around Orlando we should see while we're there? If you have time, I would very much make the time to, it's like an hour and 15-minute trip maybe, to go to Cape Canaveral. Cape Canaveral is really cool. It's so amazing to see where they launched you can see where they launched a spaceship to the moon and everything. The museum there is really cool. You can see an actual space shuttle. That's just a really cool place. That's what I would recommend. Would you recommend the Terraforming Mars Big Box? I'm actually going to be reviewing that this week. Have you tried the Legends of Runeterra Lab of Legends feature? No, I played Legends of Runeterra very briefly, and I started playing it, and this is on me, but I was like, why am I not playing Hearthstone? So I went back and played Hearthstone. Maybe Legends of Runeterra gets better as time went by, but I was just really enjoying Hearthstone. I really like Hearthstone now. You said it's like Hearthstone campaigns. I don't really play Hearthstone campaigns. I play Hearthstone just single matches for the most part. Excited for the new Loki series. That's right. That's Wednesday. I am looking forward to that. Do you think Mind Management is more like a legacy game with all the add-ons that come after the main game is first played? Not really. Those add-ons are mostly just little modules that you can play with or not. So it's like a game that comes with 14 modules that you can insert in or out of the game. I saw your rating of Everdell. It's only 7. Did you not like it for any reason? I like games that I rank 7. Do you try any of the expansions? I have not actually played any of the expansions. 7 is a good rating for me. It's not amazing, but it's good. I really worry sometimes in this period that we're in that if it's a 10 or a 1. It's possible there's some nuance in there. Found out one of my 7-year-old's Pokemon cards is worth $70. Should I try to talk him into selling it? Money would go to him, of course. I don't know. I would just broach the subject with him, see if he's willing to give it up for $70. If he's not, then I wouldn't worry about it. Have you ever played a game with a rule wrong and that has become your preferred way to play? Played Whistle Mountain and my group thought the meeples collect resources on the scaffolding. Ooh, that would really ruin the game for me, actually. I have done that a few times where then I liked playing it that way better, although the games are slipping my mind what they are, but it's just a couple of them. Do you like playing darts? Yeah, it's okay. It's a skill game. So if someone's better than me at playing darts, I don't know. I like playing people who are also bad at darts like me. Then we're just all throwing and seeing how well we do. What dings an otherwise good game more? A bad rulebook, bad art, or bad graphic design? In my opinion, 100% a bad rulebook. A bad rulebook is just awful. I can live with bad art. It's a bad rulebook is the worst. Bad graphic design is second. Bad art is the least egregious of all of them. Do you have a favorite rack of the library? Well, I'm sure I do, but I wouldn't know what it is until I go through them all, so I'm not going to say off the top of my head. After your review of Mind Management, is there any comic series that you'd like to think would make a great game? Yes, Bone. What was the best thing you ate this weekend? You said R, but I'm pretty sure you mean ate. I had a lobster roll. That was very delicious. And then I had some gelato. Gelato is really good. I took my daughter Amy out. We went out to Bar Harbor here in Miami, which is a touristy type place, which I've gone to, I think, twice since I moved here. And that was the second time. But it was a beautiful day. And I got to spend some time with her before she went back to college. What is something you would like to put inside a die? I'm thinking here. I don't know, actually. That's an interesting thing. I don't know. What app did you use to read Mind Management comics at? Hoopla. Hoopla. You can hook it up with your local library if you live in America, and then you can borrow stuff using your local library system if you have a library card, which I do. And so I just downloaded and read. It was 3 omnibuses of Mind Management. It's a lot of reading, but it was really good. Is it awkward to give a bad review for a game that sponsored one of your segments? Sure. They don't love it either, but they know I'm honest. So there's that. Based on the current downward numbers of COVID in the U.S., if Doc Brown rolled up to Dice Tower headquarters and invited you to go back and reverse your decision about Dice Tower East 2021, that's a month away. So a month away, could we have run it? Maybe. It's possible. It's probable, actually, that we could have run it then. We didn't know back then. So no, I don't regret my decision. Also, we wouldn't have any publishers at all because they don't make the decision now to do it. They make the decision to do it. Look at all the people who are screaming about Gen Con still, who don't want to go to Gen Con. And Gen Con's in September. There would be problems, I'm sure of it. I would have no problem with it. Fully vaccinated. I hang out with fully vaccinated people all the time now. You know, I had a picnic at church yesterday with all the fully vaccinated people there. I have gaming get-togethers with all the fully vaccinated people who show up. And so I would run a convention with fully vaccinated people. That's no problem to me. But Again, we did not know that was going to be the case, and we had to make the decision back then. So no, I wouldn't go back and reverse my decision. It is what it is. Let's see here. What was the last game you played solo? Well, last night I was messing with Mythic Battles Pantheon. I was playing against myself there in that game. That's not a bad one to play. I was testing back and forth. Any word on when Ankh will be coming to backers? Just as a heads up, I don't work for CMON. This is not a CMON YouTube channel. And I also don't actually work for any board game companies. So those questions are usually best sent to the publishers themselves rather than me. Have you read Matt Fraction's Iron Story yet? Iron Fist story? I don't know. I don't like Iron Fist at all. I don't know that I will read it. I'm not interested in it. How many hundreds of games do you think you've given a seal of approval to? But I don't know, but it's in the thousands, I'm sure. Thank you for all the nice comments. Could you share the 80-point loss on Ticket to Ride story we posted on YouTube? Well, no, I actually posted it there. No, my wife just blocked me in a spot that I was trying to go around. I mean, it's Ticket to Ride. It's not like a story thing. It's just that I had 40 points of tickets. And if you don't get those 40 points of tickets, you lose 40 points instead of gaining those 40 points. So that's an 80-point swing. My daughter beat me by... How many points did she beat me by? She beat me by, I think, 12 points. So I would have crushed them in that game. She was like, my mother and father fought each other and I ended up winning the game, which was true. BGG shows a rating of 5.5 as red, so people assume that means terrible even though it's a halfway point. It's not really a halfway point. I know that's what people want to believe. It's not the case. Nobody does that. If you see a restaurant that has 2-star rating out of 4, you assume it's bad. It's human nature because they got half wrong. You can get a few things wrong. It's just like a test. 50% is not, you're not like average. Good job. I want you to get most things right. So don't think of it as a scale that 1 is the worst, 10 is the best, 5 is right there in the middle. No, 5 means you got half the stuff wrong. It could have been better. What walking shoes do you use when attending large conventions that require a lot of walking? Well, I'm currently using these shoes right here. These are, I don't know what the brand is. Coled? But they have those rubber gel foam inserts. That's a big deal. And if I don't wear those, then I go out and I buy the most comfortable pair of sneakers I can. You want something you're going to walk in and be extremely comfortable in because you're going to be standing sometimes on concrete for a really long time. And that concrete really wears on your feet. So that's, for me, yeah, that's what I would do. I wore dress shoes once. I'll never do that again. Will the Great Wah be racing today? No, because Shoots and Marbles is tomorrow, not today. Have you found the top 10 book yet? No. It's also really, really low on my priority list. I'm sorry. I am so far behind, folks, on so much stuff here at the Dice Tower. We have so many games. That mega unboxing load we got, has really, really put the crunch on us. I am currently sorting out my shelves, getting everything ready for the Dice Tower retreat. I know that's in September. We are preparing, but there's a lot of stuff to be done. I'm not even done with shelf 4 yet. We have 25 shelves to go through. We have the Summer Spectacular coming up. There are all kinds of things going on consistently here. So we'll get to these things. Have you read the Scott Pilgrim comics? I did, and I got to say I really, and I want to like underline that, hated them. I really hated them. It's just not for me. I just didn't like them at all. So I get that some people like that sort of thing, and that's fine. It just wasn't for me. Are most of the Kickstarter games you get given to you from the publisher, or do you purchase them? Yes. Will you ever try to develop a game again? Does not have to be a board game. Well, what else would it be? Because I'm not developing a computer game anytime soon. Maybe. How's the dog? Fantastic. Come on, Tom, you skipped right over my question. But I didn't skip over this one. What's your favorite die shape ever? Oh, the 12-sided. The dodecahedron. Not the dodecahedron. Yeah, the dodecahedron. I really like that die. Any thoughts on doing an update on best of publishers? Yeah, maybe someday. We'll see. If you could give your past self one tip as you started the Dice Tower, what tip would you give yourself? I would tell that person to buy a lot of Apple stock and maybe some other stock from that time frame. What's your favorite color to use in gaming and backup plan? I don't care. I try to play purple, but if I can't, I'll play whatever. Is it weird I want brown or tan? No. That's always my last choice. You would never, ever, ever, ever argue with me over that. Do you have any idea if you'll come to Essen this year? No, I can definitively say, unless something miraculously changes, we're not going to Essen this year. What has been your craziest day ever? I've had some pretty terrible, crazy days, folks. So I don't really want to relive any of them. With more people being vaccinated, are you going to be bringing in people for the live top 10s, board game breakfast, etc.? Yes, we will try to do that. Will the Jack Bass Memorial Fund auction be happening at Gen Con this year? No. But I know you're talking about the Jack Bass Memorial Fund auction that we run at Dice Tower East every year. We're just not going to be able to run it this year. So it's unfortunate, but we'll just have to miss out on a year of that. How's the Kickstarter coming along? The Kickstarter is doing amazing. If you're talking about the Dice Tower Kickstarter, I'm hoping that you think the content, which is what you backed us for, is amazing. I hope so. I mean, that would be kind of egotistical for me to think that it's amazing. But I keep trying to impress this on everyone when they back us each year. You're backing our content. We're making that content. We don't slow down at all here if possible. We put out tons of content. But that's not what you meant. I'm assuming you meant where's the physical stuff. We're working on that too. The studio move didn't really affect that. That's affected by COVID and everything else while we just wait for all that stuff to come in. Shipping from China is delayed and everything, but we hope so. I said in the campaign, our goal is to have everything shipped out by September. We're currently on track for that, so let's hope that happens. But again, the Kickstarter hopefully is going amazing for you. Every year, when I get up in January and plead for your money a little bit, I'm asking you to support us so we can make our content better. I hope and I think that 2021 is the best yet. I think we're getting our live stuff down. I think Chris coming on board has really been a great thing. We've been able to do the Foursquare reviews now on a consistent basis. We've added a few new video series. Having the games here in the studios, we're able to do some cool things, and it's just going to get better, I hope. Top 5 instruments I wish I could play. I'm always a little hesitant on this one because if you really want to play an instrument, you can. So I can play the piano slightly, and I can play the trumpet even slighter than that. But those would be my 2. Because if I could play anything like amazing, I'd want to be able to honky-tonk that piano to town and just also honky-tonk on that trumpet. I love those 2 instruments. Those would be my top 2. After that, if I could play anything, I would love to know how to play a clarinet really well. I think a really well-done clarinet's fantastic. Probably a viola, maybe a violin. I don't know that it matters that much to me which one I would pick. And then a trombone. I just like the trombone. Would I ever Men in Black my memory on a game to replay it from conception without any prior knowledge of it? I don't know. I mean, I think that'd be fun, but like, let's say I go, oh, Dominion, the first time, I'm like, deck building. Wait, I've already played a lot of deck building games. You'd have to Men in Black a lot of memories out for that to happen. Does the Dice Tower have an employee guidebook? No. We have reviewer guidelines and Board Game Breakfast contributor guidelines, which I have, but that's it. Do you ever get into a non-board gaming mood and want to do something else instead, like play your Switch? I do that all the time. Over the weekend, I played... Was it over the weekend? I played PS5 for a little bit. What was I playing? I don't remember what I played. I downloaded it and played something, but it was okay. Then I downloaded on Steam, I downloaded Transport Tycoon, which is an old game, but they have a Transport Tycoon, like, open game system. I love Transport Tycoon. It's still one of my favorite of all those type games. Will I require Dice Tower East attendees to be fully vaccinated? You mean in 2022? No. I don't. According to Florida law, I don't believe we can even. I don't think we're allowed to require people to be fully vaccinated. But all right, I'm going to be very blunt here. I don't care. I'm past the point of caring on this regard because either by that point in time you will be vaccinated. You come, I'm vaccinated. You're vaccinated. We're fine. Or you're not vaccinated. In which case, that's on you. You've had multiple opportunities, if you live in America for sure, to be vaccinated. You don't get vaccinated, I'm not going to lose any sleep at night about it. Again, that's on you. So why would I require it? A non-vaccinated person's not going to hurt me. And you'll be like, but they might hurt someone else. Well, that person's not vaccinated too. Again, that's on them. You know, so I don't understand that. I don't understand why if I'm vaccinated and I need to be around somebody else who's not vaccinated, I might wear a mask because, let's say, they have a health issue and they couldn't get vaccinated, right? Fine. I'll be respectful to that person. But if that person refuses to get vaccinated, I don't care. And that's why I'm confused why lots of vaccinated people are still wearing masks in places like around other vaccinated people. But that's about as masky as I want to talk. It's probably already too much. But no, I'm not going to require people to be vaccinated at any of my events. But again, because I think you can be, Florida does not allow us to, as far as I can tell. And even if they did allow us to, I still wouldn't do it for that reason. You're vaccinated, you're safe. You're not vaccinated, you're taking your own life in your own hands, and that's on you, not me. So, is it really that hard to design legible dice? It seems so, doesn't it? Seems like every crowdfunding is full of hard-to-read stats. You know, I was talking to guys after we recorded Board Game Breakfast today. I think people just don't buy them the roll. They buy them. They're like, look at this really cool set. Oh, that's a really cool set. Wow, look at this cool set. Isn't that neat? Yay. Put on the shelf. I really believe that's what people do with these. I don't think people use these dice. So, was there anything specific in the world's biggest unboxing you found especially amazing? There was a lot of, there was an Xbox in there. But other than that, I don't know that there was anything in there I thought was especially amazing. There's really cool stuff all around. It was like so many cool things that after a while it just started getting a little overwhelming. What's the worst method for generating hype? The worst method for me for generating hype is making something sound like something it's not. Like describing a game, like this game is going to do this, and when you play it, you're like, that's nothing like what you said. Oh yeah, and not lying, but intentionally misleading people, I think. My favorite breakfast is whatever favorite meal, my favorite meal. What's my favorite meal? My favorite meal is probably taco salad. So taco salad would be my favorite breakfast. I don't understand why I would eat a different meal for breakfast than lunch. It's the same, just a different time of day. Food tastes the same all day long. How's the sorting going on the Mega Game unboxing? I don't think we're done with the preliminary sorting. I pulled the games out that we're going to be putting in the library. You know, I got one sitting right here. And my kids are still unboxing that. That's going to take weeks and weeks just to get the ones that are going in the Dice Tower library. Will the great Wah be racing tomorrow? No, because Wah raced last week. So the leagues that did not race last week are racing tomorrow. If you had to play a board game in a tent on a beach, which game would you choose? Rock, paper, scissors. Because then I could get out of that tent on the beach. Are there any names people have submitted for marbles that you've had to reject? I don't think so, but I would just change it on the fly. I don't care. No one's paying to send these marbles in, so I'm just going to put down what I put down. Is Catch-Up-A-Palooza still a thing? Yes, but realize we can't put out every new video every week. We're just going to put out videos every week, and they'll be part of series or not. Who is second in command at the Dice Tower? First of all, everything did not go to pot when I took a couple days off. That's garbage. That did not happen. And the guys all do a fantastic job. Did you ever want to be a DJ? Yeah, I think so. I think I would like doing that. I just don't have the voice for it. I've been told quite often that my voice is not a really good voice. Like, I don't have a good radio voice. I don't have a good voice in general. Also, I tend to talk too fast. I tend to slur my words. And as you all know, I can't pronounce anything. So I would not be chosen for a DJ. I don't have the soothing, dulcet tones of Chris Yee, Eric Summerer, or pretty much anybody. What I have instead is passion. And I think that I can sound interesting. My voice just doesn't sound amazing. So I can live with that. How do you feel about the Murph Brothers Murph exposing the real reason why you moved? This is one of those times where I don't know what you're talking about. When will the Summer Spectacular begin? July 6th. Who drinks the most coffee in the office? Maybe Kenny, maybe. We don't drink much coffee here at all. I drink a little bit occasionally if I really need a jolt to wake up, but that's it. Super chat, thank you very much. How many games have you rated 10 out of 10 on BGG? I don't know. And even if I did know, probably many of them are wrong. I don't know, maybe 20. But it might be more than that. No, there's no scorpions here. Any idea on PAX Unplugged this year? I don't believe PAX Unplugged has yet announced how they're doing it or if they're doing it. Is that obelisk in the back from Tekkenu? No, it's a cool obelisk though, right? I got this at Universal Studios on the Pharaoh's Fury ride there, and they have a gift shop of a bunch of Egyptian type things, and I was like, wow, that looks really cool. So I got it there. That's where I got that one. If I could hire another staff member, regardless of price salary, to do any kind of work, what would that be? It would be probably more video editing / accounting would not be bad for sure. HR, no, come on now. How many of the top BGG top 100 games have you played? Most of them. I think it's 3 that I haven't played. Used to watch a lot of Dice Tower in the day. Just recently came back and wondering where's Sam. Sam is working for Mythic Games now, and he left it was a little over a year and a half ago at this point. Right, it's June already. A year and a half ago, and he lives up in Northeast U.S. He moved up there to be near his family. 1 to 10, how hard is cutting wood for you? Like, is 10 the hardest? Because it's 10. I don't know how to cut wood. I haven't seen Dice Horde battles recently. Do you still do them? I don't. The Shoots and Marbles took that energy I had for that, and I'm doing those instead. What do you think about publishers making loads of errors in rules cards and expecting games to correct them? For example, Sleeping Gods. I don't know what that means. I didn't find that Sleeping Gods had loads of errors. In fact, I think Sleeping Gods had a very few errors. I don't get that upset over that because they put a ton of work into that. And I don't care when you... Look, I don't like games that have errors. I want to be really clear on that. I'm not happy with games with errors. And there are some games that come out with so many errors, you're like, how did they miss all this stuff? But I don't get upset about stuff like that in Sleeping Gods because, first of all, I played Sleeping Gods and I'm running on nothing that was problematic about it. Maybe one thing somewhere. I don't know. So it's not loads of errors. That's exaggerating the point on that particular game. And the fact is, unless you can publish a game with no errors, I don't know that anyone can say these things. I worked at a place that published books. I worked in every spot of that place. I worked where I didn't work in the graphic design, but once the graphic design came through, we looked at them. We proofed them. We put them on the plates. We burned the plates that went on the printing press. Printing press prints them. They proof them there. They look at them. They then came through another area, the folding and the binding. They're proofed there. And I know they're proofed in the editing thing. And books still got published with errors in. Even with all those checks, it happens. It just does. And those books are just straight books. They weren't things that like this had worked with this worked with this. So, yeah, I don't think publishers are releasing things and saying, we'll let people figure it out. No, they're putting out the best product they can. If you were offered a position on the Spiel des Jahres committee, highly unlikely as you're not German, would you accept? So no, I just don't have time to be on the different awards. How did you store your copy of Destiny's expansions? Since you send your review, you would be getting rid of it? I'm not getting rid of it. What's your favorite board game award ceremony? Don't be biased. The Dice Tower Awards. I am biased. I can't be not biased there. I do the Dice Tower Award ceremony like I would want one to be done. The only other Dice Tower Award ceremony that I watch that I find to be interesting is the Tantrum House. How did you meet the various members of the Dice Tower crew? Met Z at my gaming group. Met Mike because he was a contributor for Dice Tower. Met Roy because he was a contributor for one of our other shows on the Dice Tower. Met Chris because he runs a podcast on Dice Tower Network, and I met him at Dice Tower West or MeepleCon before that. Met Kenny in my gaming group. Met Eric online. What's the most annoying type of questions you get in these chats? To me, the most annoying questions are people that'll say, what do you think of a game? Which I'm like, well, if I put out the review of it, there you go. And if I haven't put out the review of it, I will, or I haven't played it. There's very few games I haven't played there's very few games that I played where I haven't put out a review or a bunch of short reviews. I'm doing one of those this week. Do you have a favorite comedy sitcom? Sitcoms is hard, right? Because I'm not counting the dramedy type stuff. Like I really like Chuck. The Play Goes Wrong is like my favorite thing ever. That makes me laugh more than anything else. But I don't even know that that's a sitcom. Like traditional sitcom with a laugh track, Everyone Loves Raymond, probably. I think. But I don't even know if that'd make my top 10 favorite shows. How'd you meet your wife? We both were working with in a children's church. So there was, I believe, was it 3 and 4 year? Yeah, it was a 3 and 4 year old class. I went there. I met my wife. I met her there. She was working there, and she was leading the singing. And I thought, she's not as enthusiastic as I would be. So I went to the people in charge, and I was like, she has a great voice, but I would be more enthusiastic and exciting, and she'd probably do. I took her place essentially. But in the meantime, I asked her out on a date. But I was asking lots of people out on dates. She said yes, and yeah, it was a good time. We had a good. I knew I didn't want to date anybody else after our first date. I mean, I don't believe in love at first sight. I really don't. I don't think anyone who says that, think knows what true love is. And as the years have gone by, I've fallen in a deep love with my wife that was not there when I first met her. I mean, it's been 22 years now that we've been married, and we were engaged for 4 years. I mean, we were dating for 4 years before that. So 26 years now I've known her. And I when I first met her, I thought she was pretty. When I first talked to her a little bit, I liked her personality. She was very bubbly and optimistic, which I liked. And after that first date, man, I was like, wow, I really like her. I want to date her. That was like my thing. I want to date her. And then we dated, and I would say that was in late May I met her, and that was in 97 maybe, was it? I don't remember. I have it written down somewhere. And then July 4th, I knew I loved her. I remember that day. I knew I loved her. I don't know why I'm talking about this. Sorry. Games. All right. How do you feel about the micro game trend? I'm not complaining about that anymore because I feel like we've gone too far in the other direction with the massive giant games. Micro games, woo! When you said clarinet, I heard clown act. I told you guys I can't pronounce very well. Have you had a chance to play the Seas of Sands expansion for Destinies? I played it a little bit. Once I'm done fully playing it, I'll do a review of it. Do you still keep a personal game collection in my house? Yes, I get asked this a lot. A very, very, very tiny one. I don't need to keep a collection in my house. I got it right here. I found the old studio for sale on the internet, not hard to find. It's expensive for such a small place. I don't argue that. What makes it so expensive? Because things are very expensive here in Miami. Also, that place is in a pretty good location. You often emphasize that a game in the Board Game Geek Top 400 is still an amazing game. Well, I mean, it's still an amazing game to many people. I might not think it's amazing. What ranking on Board Game Geek would you consider the cutoff for a Dice Tower seal approval? I don't consider it could be the lowest ranked game on Board Game Geek. And if I liked it, I'd give it a Dice Tower seal approval. I don't care what people say there. I mean, I think that Group Mind brings the better games to the top. And if you joined me last year for my 10,000 and below series, where I went through and looked at the games, there was a certain number, I think once we passed 15,000 or something, there was no longer any games that I liked anymore. But, nah. If your wife hated board games, how do you think your life would be different? I don't think it would change that much. My wife and I have very strong things that we like, dislike. You know, she doesn't like video games at all. I like playing video games quite a bit. That doesn't affect me loving her or our life at all. We find things that we do like doing together. Would you rather be slapped with a fish or stick your head in a bucket of mail? Why? I guess the fish thing. Why would you want your head stuck in a bucket of mail? I don't like mayonnaise. I find mayonnaise to be the most boring of condiments in existence. And it, like, to me, whenever we order subs or, hoagies or what have you, and they're like, what do you want? I'm like, I don't care. Oh, wait, no mayonnaise. It's the one time I'm not one of those people when you order something, I say no, nothing on it. Put it, whatever you're going to put on that sandwich, put it on, but not mayo. And it's not like if I get one with mayo, I'm hating it. I'll eat it, grudgingly. But I don't like it at all. Have you seen the Friends reunion? Yeah, I watched it. It was okay. Do you think the miniatures in Adventure Tactics are more immersive than the standees? I don't know. We use the miniatures for the characters. We kind of liked using the standees for the bad guys, though. It was easy to tell what they were, especially since you're looking at the pictures a lot. I find the energy pacing of the Dice Tower podcast more enjoyable than the videos. Do you feel a different energy when making each? I do, and I'll tell you what, my energy seems to be lower when making the podcast because we record them at night, so I'm more laid back. If you were hired to inject Marvel into a traditional Euro, which game and which characters? Nope and nope. I would just refuse the job. Why would I do that? A Marvel game should feel like superheroes. What did you think of the Eternals trailer? I wasn't super excited about it, but that doesn't change my opinion at all because I saw trailers for some of the other Marvel movies. I remember distinctly seeing the Ant-Man trailer and the Doctor Strange trailer, and after I watched both of those, I was like, meh. And then I really enjoyed those movies. So, how's the new website coming along? I actually have a conversation about that happening this week. I need to put that on my schedule. Did you get any games from the Mega Unboxing you want to play a review? I did. When buying the game Destinies, in your opinion, does one need the expansion to have a better experience? I was pretty happy with the base game. I think you get the expansion if you're done with the base game. Have you checked out Dark Dice, the D&D podcast with Jeff Goldblum? I have not. Is there a Board Game Geek account showing the collection for the Dice Tower library? Well, there's DT Library, but it's not up to date. I'm going to go in and redo it once my library list is completely done. Speaking of marbles, I have another descendant. Same address as before. I'm going to ask you, if you've already sent one in, to wait like 2 months before you send another one in. I am overwhelmed with marbles at this point. I need to slow down a bit. Tonight, I'm working hard in Dice Tower all day today. I'm going to go home tonight and spend 3 to 4 hours working on Shoots and Marbles. And so I need to take a break somewhere on that. So just, if you have a marble in the race, just be happy with that one for now. If you don't have one, go ahead and email me and you can send one in. I think you have a good preacher voice. Maybe. Oh, now all these people are going to say they like my voice. I wasn't saying that to get the bounce back feedback here. Oh, I'm not an ugly guy. And people are like, no, you look great. No, I know my voice. I know my limits. I know where it's at. Who's Kenny? Kenny keeps his dice out together. Kenny is our everything guy. He runs the Kickstarter. He handles our logistics. If something goes wrong here in the building, he's the guy who fixes it. Kenny is amazing. You arrive early to game night. Someone starts setting up a game you're lukewarm on. Then others show up and start setting up a game you really want to play. What do you do? Well, first of all, that doesn't happen to me. if I go to a game night, now I'm hosting the game nights here, but let's say I go to another game night and I get there, I've brought games with me. I don't know that I've ever gone to a game night without games. So if someone starts setting up a lukewarm game, I'm like, awesome. I bet some people are coming who will like that game. I'm setting up my game that I'm going to play with people too. We'll see which one they want to join. I would not join a game I don't like playing. Do you like gift cards as a present? I don't hate them, but yeah, they're fine. Although, I will say it was funny, when me and my wife first moved here, people kept giving us Olive Garden gift cards. And after a while, we're very appreciative. We've got Olive gift cards like the last 2-3 years every once in a while. I wish someone would give us a different restaurant. That's very ungrateful, though. So I love the gift cards that give you like 6 restaurants on them. Then you pick the one that you want to go to. Do you enjoy answering people's questions? Yes, I do. Oh, I'm getting rid of the insert for Destinies. Oh, yeah, I hate the insert for Destinies. Yeah, I'm going to be able to put the expansion in the base box. I'm going to be able to put both expansions in that base box. Oh, people keep asking about Jason Levine. That's spelled wrong there. But yeah. It's been like a couple weeks since he's come down and played games, but I play games with him a lot, actually. Is Arrested Development a sitcom? See, I don't know where all these things lie anymore. I don't even know what a sitcom is considered to be anymore. What I think of The Office, I like working here, although I don't work in my office as much as you might think. I work on the back porch more than anywhere else now. Alrighty. Can you tell a story about what you do with the hymnal when you first met your wife? Well, people aren't going to understand this very much, but when I was on campus, I always, we sang, I took a lot of girls to church. That's what I did. And whenever I went, I would always hold the hymnal upside down. And then I would try to sing it backwards. Real briefly, real quickly. I'm not trying to be a pain on people around me. And I got frowns, confusion, and my wife joined me in singing it backwards a little bit. And then I was like, she has a sense of humor, which is quite important if you're going to hang out with me. I must have told that before, that you knew about that. Yeah, I didn't review Everdell. Z did. I played it. I think I did it in when I was going through a bunch of games I'd played before. I did it in one of my short reviews, I think. What video games do you play? I switch in and out. Sometimes I play that app nonsense for a while. Like I played Hearthstone quite a bit yesterday. I was actually teaching my kids to play Hearthstone. But when you take that, that's actually like a board game on the iPad. I just pick a game and I'm running with it. So like right now I'm playing Transport Tycoon a lot, which is a fantastic game. But who knows? I might find another game and play that for a while. I don't have time to play more than one game normally. I know you keep asking the same question here, and I've answered this question so many times, but my short answer here is small boxes. Small boxes. Film with small boxes and move them. That's it. Is there a possibility of another top 100? Well, yeah, we do it every year, don't we? So you're okay. We did it in January, so we'll do another one next January probably. I don't think Middle-earth Quest will be reprinted. I might be wrong. In fact, and the reason I'm answering this here specifically is because I just got Middle-earth Quest in this mega game thing, and I looked at it and I said, you know what? We're not putting that in the library. I thought about it because it's pretty well rated, but it's well rated and nobody plays it. Now you're going to say you play it. That's fine. I get it. But I don't want to play games in the library very few people play unless I'm going to teach them to people. And this game is a bit of a bear to teach. I think the biggest problem with Middle-earth Quest is it doesn't have characters anyone knows. These are various other characters that they're mentioned maybe, I don't know, maybe some of Tolkien's Far Out works or in the lore somewhere. I don't know where. I don't know who any of them are. It's okay. It's a good game. I don't know that it's aged particularly well. And most people are going to want to play War of the Ring or the Battle of Five Armies and stuff like that. So because of those reasons, now don't get me wrong, Ares Games might reprint it. I don't know, but I don't think so. Out of everything Dice Hour, what's the next upcoming thing you're most excited about? I gotta be honest, I'm excited about a lot of upcoming things, but I'm so excited about the retreat. I know it's in September. I just want to hang out with people. Like we went to the picnic yesterday, and it was just fantastic hanging out with people. I was like, let's have another picnic. People! It says this is exciting here. Do you have a list of all the games we received in the Mega Unboxing? Yes, we've been putting that list together. I don't think we're going to make it public, though. Is there any board game that you prefer the iPad video game version of better? Yes, this is actually going to be an upcoming top 10 list that I'm going to do. Tom, what's your personal appeal of the marble stuff? You know, for me, straight up, it's seeing the marbles roll down. I've been doing this my whole life. I've been doing marble races. I used to do them when I was a kid. I used Hot Wheel. The Hot Wheel, there used to be these plastic Hot Wheel things that would open up and it would go in like an S, go up, down. And I would have two of those, and there was an attachment you could put them together, so there would be and I would race cars down it, and you could only put one car down it at a time. So I'd start doing marbles, and then I would do more than that. I would get paper towel tubes from my mom, and the Hot Wheel race tracks, and I would have them go down the steps and stuff. I always thought it was cool. When I saw them online, I thought that was cool too, but I didn't want to copy that. I try not to copy stuff online if I can help it. I know I just read a thread somewhere that said I copied the marble racing off 9. I didn't do that. What happened was I was on Etsy and I saw a marble ramp and I thought that'd be an interesting thing to do after my Q&As, because I always do weird stuff after a Q&A. So I got it. I did it after a Q&A, and then I thought, wow, I'll do something that no one else is doing. There's all these marble races out there, but no one's doing them live, and no one's doing them with silly, I guess some people are doing the color commentary, but we would take it up and just be ridiculous about it. And that's what we do. It's just fun. We get together, do the most ridiculous commentary. You can see Mike really gets into it along with me. We just think it's silly, and we have fun times. It's become one of the biggest productions we do each week because we put a lot of effort into it. But I still like watching the marbles race. And wait till you see the next part of the track that we're getting. I've seen the initial stages of it, and it's amazing. Whose voice is it for the wah intro? I don't think it's anyone. I think I just found it online somewhere. I just put weird sound effects and stuff. Would you ever consider doing video game content in Dice Tower? No. We're already diluted a lot as it is. You know, there's a lot of times people, I read all the time on the internet, people talk about how they used to watch Dice Tower, but then they got into Euro, War Games, whatever it is, and then they found a podcast or something that was more specifically for them. I get it. You know, because we talk about so many board games, you're never going to hear me talk about the details on Marvel Champions or why, you know, this new Brass 2.0 version is slightly better than the last Brass or whatever. I don't have that breadth of that specificity, specificness, whatever the word for that is, to talk about that particular game. What I have is I played more games than most people have. So I can just give you information about games on a very wide scale, which I don't think dilutes my opinion much, but it does mean that some people come, they enjoy the Dice Tower, then they find something that's more niche to what they like, and that's more interesting to them. The people who tend to like and watch Dice Tower are more omnivores to some degree. But if I add video games, I don't even add RPGs really, because that would dilute it much. Alrighty. Oh, yes. Speaking of mispronunciation, we laughed so hard when you corrected Joe on a word in the second Dice Tower episode, the irony. Shh. Don't tell people about that. Alrighty. Well, that's it, folks. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it, but I got to get stuff done. We got to sort this game out here on the table, and then we got to review a game with my kids, and then I got to get back to sorting out games. There's a lot to do. Until next time, though, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching Q&A on the Dice Tower.